Captain of Stanford with Texas Fish Tips. It's your weekly fishing report.
Okay guys, over in Corpus Christi Bayou, right out in front of it, there's been some good trout right down through here. Wade fish is doing good with croaker. If you do popping cork and shrimp, has been working pretty good. We've had a real slow bite on the croaker. It's just been slow because of the moon cycle, but they'll eat that shrimp just about any time. Anywhere down quarantine shoreline's been a great place. And also, if it gets too windy, it's a good place to hide out, and you can wade fish right down through here. Trailer Island, same thing. Wade fish right down through. You can also get in your boat, set about 5-6 foot of water, cast downwind, and fish about 15-20 minutes. Don't catch fish, move up to the next cut. Usually these cuts in this area is usually where they're at. And move on up, do it again. And just keep on hopscotch until you get your limits of trout. And there's been some really nice trout down through here. The redfish, they're up on the bank. They're up shallow. Like I say, trout bayou in this area, they've been right down through here. Get some cut mullet or cut menhaden. It's been working pretty good. Alrighty guys, out here in front of Allen's Bite. Wade fishing out here about chest deep water, been some pretty good trout. There's a lot of small ones, but there's still some good ones to be caught. Up on that bank again, that's where them redfish are. Up shallow is where they're at. Also, this whole point right here, you can wade fish way out here. Right on this point is a good fish, and everybody parks their boat on it, walks away, but that's usually one of the best spots to catch a redfish right there. Also, if you get back here in Allen's Bite, way back in here, this whole shoreline right here is holding some black drum. There's an old fish house back here. Get you some shrimp, just good old dead shrimp. It don't have to be anything fancy. You can use live shrimp if you want to, but there's been some good drum back here. Sometimes you can see that school, sometimes you can't. Blind fish for them if you want. If not, you can sit there and wait all day until they pop up and then go get them. Hopefully you don't lose them, but there is some good drum in that area. Okay guys, over in the surf, there's been some nice trout. There's been some redfish, there's some sharks mixed in there. Just about everything you can think of down through here. It's been nice and calm lately. You can get in that surf and fish pretty easy. Some days there's pretty good fish, sometimes there's not. You just have to keep bouncing around to find them. If you see the birds sitting on the bank, that's probably where they are, because those birds ain't leaving until they find more food. And so that's where they were at when they last seen that food. That's where they're at. Now, the Port Aransas jetties, north side of the North Jetty, incoming tide, been doing pretty good. There's some black drum, about 30 foot of water down there. There's been some redfish. There's trout. We've caught grouper. There's just about everything else in there. There's been several schools of tarpon hanging around on this north side of this North Jetty. Try not to get them with your outboard motor because they hate those. They do not like the lower unit noise on those outboards. So if you can anchor or use your trolling motor is the best way to go. Now, if you get on the inside, it's been real pretty water. There's been schools of menhaden in there. There's jacks. There's sharks, just about everything else. I've even seen some kingfish caught here, and it's nice pretty water inside these jetties lately. Also, if you get all the way down this old Corpus Christi ship channel, there's been schools of menhaden right in here. And those jacks will be all over it. There's sharks, just about everything else. This bank right here on Brown Root, it's been holding some trout. If you get in there with your croaker or your popping cork and shrimp, it's been working. But there's been lots of trout down through here, and there's a few redfish mixed in there with them. All right, boys and girls, there's some good old gas wells out here. They're just marked out here. They're random. The bigger ones seem to be producing the best because I think they have the biggest shadow. If there's dolphins around it, those trout will be in the legs of that rig. There's lots of small ones down through here. We've been using croaker, but to me, live shrimp, free line, maybe a split shot's been working the best. It's been a tough bite lately, but we've been catching a lot of trout doing that. Just about everything else we caught, sheep's head and black drum around these rigs as well. Then if it gets too hot, here's my favorite little secret. We'll get in that new Aces Bridge, just anywhere's down through here, get in that shade. There's fish in here, there's trout, there's black drum, just any through there. Be careful, there is some pilings down through here on the edges. Just go slow, and if it's clean water, you'll see it. But if that current's not too strong, you can get in here and use just a split shot free line shrimp. Or you can use a heavier weight and probably get hung up a lot. Use your artificials to work too. But there's been redfish, black drum, mangrove snapper, sheep's head, just about everything trout you can think of under that bridge. And they're hiding out in that shallow. But go get them, boys and girls. Okay, good old Portland shoreline. There's several piers down through here. Been holding some nice fish. There's a few trout mixed in. There's a few black drum, even a sheep's head or two in there. But anywhere down through this whole shoreline has been holding some nice fish. There's been some trout on these rocks that's out here. anywhere's down those rocks has been holding, just anchor off about 30, 40 yards and pitch towards the rocks. Sometimes those trout are out the other side of the boat, but a lot of times they're towards the rocks. But there's been some redfish mixed in there, been mainly trout, and a lot of ladyfish. There's even been a few sharks mixed in there. Then, if you want to catch your redfish, get in here by Berry Island. There's a couple of spots right here, and it's real nice and shallow. Get up in there and get you some cut mullet, throw up in the bank, find you a pothole, throw it in, and just put it in a rod holder and leave it alone. It'll bend over, you'll catch your fish. It's pretty easy. This whole bank's been holding right down through. It's been holding some nice redfish the same way.
Thanks for watching. I'm Captain Stanford.